loves an Irish girl.
Oh wow, we got all this green going on. Oh, it's a good thing I wore a green shirt. I didn't even think about it. Somebody pinched me otherwise, wouldn't
We
they?
had green food, and we wore green clothes, having to do with the Irish, I guess.
Last St. Patrick's Day was our first time to do a green breakfast.
I never knew the origins of St. Patrick's Day at all until, I think it was last year, Michelle looked up on the internet and found out this whole history of St. Patrick's Day.
I think he was called Saint for a reason.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, August 3rd. I hope you're having a wonderful day. You know, I just wanted to let you guys know that it's the 3rd of August, and I feel like I haven't done anything this summer. Well, we got our patio done. There's that. It's been hot, sticky. It's the summer, and there's some Frida feet behind me, as you can see, and a big stretch. It's not a day without Frida in the studio with me. I hope you guys are having a great day. So we've been having some questions about Anna Duggar and if she can take the kids to visit. And what are the rules of the facility that Josh Duggar is staying at for the next 10 years, you know, like his hotel. They can see him, but it ultimately will come down to the warden. Now, moving forward, let's talk about what's going on in Tontitown. All right. Let's talk about what's going on in Tontitown because the Duggars have come out of hiding. Yes, they've been in hiding for a while and they have been keeping an extremely low profile. There was actually some discussion that maybe the Duggars were hiding out in Tennessee with the Bates. There was a video that Alyssa Webster put out and she showed that someone mentioned that the Duggars left the lights on at a house near the Bates, and they said they're coming back or something like that. And so people were like, are the Duggars hiding at the Bates house? You know, they did hide at the Bates house after the 2015 scandal. So, you know, I wouldn't put it past them to, you know, dip out into Tennessee to try to hide away for a little bit. But they are back in Tontitown, and the Sun actually snagged some photographs of them at a festival in Tontitown, the Grape Festival. Remember that a couple years ago, Jana, she shared some pictures of some girls and she photoshopped the skirts longer. Remember that? Or the shorts longer? Yeah. So that same festival Jim Bob was seen out at, and it's the Grape Festival that's every single year in Tontitown, and it's from August 2nd through the 6th. So according to the photographs, Jim Bob was outside waiting for some funnel cake. Yes. He was waiting for funnel cake, and he was with his daughter, Jennifer. And he looked like he was just waiting for something. Funnel cake or bloomin' onions or something. And Jennifer was standing there with her dad. And he apparently was looking solemn as he was at the event with Jennifer. I don't know if any of the other kids were there with him, but the Grape Festival, basically it has a spaghetti dinner, it has a grape stomp, which is how they celebrate, and that's on the 2nd and the 3rd. They have live entertainment, they have rides. It looks like it's a pretty big event. The entertainment includes some music, country music that I'm sure the Duggars won't go and see. There are rides that they can go on. They have carnival rides. They have the grape stomping, wine. Oh my gosh, spaghetti dinners, so much stuff. It's interesting because the Duggars are not wine drinkers. There's arts and crafts that they can choose from and pick from, and lots of carnival fun. I'm sure they're going just for the carnival though. So Jim Bob going public for the first time, and he looks like he's put on a little bit of weight since Josh Duggar has been incarcerated, and it also looks like since the last time we saw him on Counting On, which it's been a tough year. Sometimes it's food that makes us happy when we're going through a tough time. So he has money enough money, that is, to take his daughter Jennifer to the carnival. Now, here's a question that I've had and this is sort of weird, but I noticed that in a lot of the photographs lately, Jennifer is right alongside of her dad, and then the other girls aren't anywhere to be seen. So I noticed that I haven't seen any updates on Johanna, Jordan, or Josie. Do you think did they send those girls to like one of those camps that they go to for the IBLP to like reprogram them? Jennifer was with them in the parking lot when they were seen in, I think it was Illinois, a couple weeks ago when they were on their way to a wedding for the Collinsworth family. But it's always Jennifer that's with them. The other girls are nowhere to be seen. I wonder where they are. Are they hiding somewhere with Jana? Okay, so Jim Bob's there with his daughter and he looks solemn. That's about all. He had a plaid button-down shirt on, he had jeans and sneakers on, and he looked bummed. So Jim Bob has a lien on his house now. He's also had some property that he's sold in the last several months. He sold a home to the airport. He also has moved some property. One of his neighbors recently sold off a portion of their land, which was near where the Duggars live. There's been some property movement and not a lot of property buying. He's also sold a large plane that they had, the 10-seater. So he's gotten rid of quite a bit of assets, and Jana also had to unload her property, and he sold property to his neighbor. So he is definitely not having the best year. Like, if you are Jim Bob Duggar and you are in this world, are you happy or are you sad? So here's my last bit of tea for this video. I was talking to one of my Duggar sources, and we were talking about how prior to Josh's arrest, they would typically hold events over at the Duggars' property, and they would have people over all the time, constantly over all the time. And their house was like this influx of just ministry of people coming in, coming out, and staying with them at all times. Since the arrest and conviction of Josh, those events have drastically been reduced at the Duggars' house. And my source was saying that right now, apparently, Jim Bob Duggar is not blaming Josh for the lack of people at his house, but a church split for the reason why nobody comes over anymore, allegedly. So remember how I told you about how Lighthouse Baptist Church, they split a couple years ago, and it was the church that was up with Paul Caldwell, and there was some disagreements about having services during the pandemic, disagreements about Bible studies, disagreements about where the church was going to be located, disagreements about between wives. I mean, apparently, allegedly, a squabble took place between a couple of the members, with maybe one of them knocking the other one in the face during an altercation in the parking lot, allegedly. There was quite the tenseness at Paul Caldwell's church, and apparently Jim Bob left in a huff and he took all of his friends with him. But since that split, he's blaming all their lack of friendships because of that. Apparently, allegedly. Not on Josh, not on the fact that he might have lied to people and misled people about what was happening with Josh, not that he maybe wasn't being the most honest, not that he lied to people for years and years and years about Josh and covered up and sort of like lied to people about the shady ex-con and told everyone that Josh was innocent and it was his disgruntled ex-employee that did this to him, or that he was set up by the Biden administration. It couldn't be those lies that might have caused people to not want to be around it. No, the source said that the rumor is that he's blaming the split of the church as to why people don't want to be around. So there were a lot of friends that the Duggars had that went to church with them, and some of them stayed with Paul and others of them went with them, the Duggars. And they had been going to Gospel Light Baptist Church, which is a independent Baptist church. It's in Springdale. They have, I think, they have one out. It's a smaller church, and They have a pastor that's like in his 40s. His name is Noel. It's a pretty traditional church. I was actually speaking to someone in the area, and they said that it's a very traditional fundamentalist Baptist church. A lot of the women have wear dresses, even though some of them don't. It's, you know, very patriarchal as far as I was told. A lot of them homeschool. A lot of them are also very, a lot of the parents homeschool. There's a lot of women not working, women not speaking. There's not women leadership in the church. So it's looks like a more updated church, but it has very fundamentalist beliefs as far as what I was told by people that are in the area. So that's the skinny on that. So they've been a part about this, but they do have a church group and a youth group that the kids go and do stuff with. And a lot of the kids, the girls there, wear pants. So who knows? It might just be like, depends on the family and whether or not the women wear pants or not. But women definitely, a lot of them don't work, and it's men are in power. But the Duggars had been part of that church. I'm not sure if they're still a part of that church. I know that Jed and Joy and John, David, and Nathan and Esther are all members of that church, but I'm not sure if the Duggars are still going to that church or not. So that's sort of the status. So he's not blaming all the stuff on Josh. He's blaming it on the split with Paul Caldwell, not Josh's actions and not his deception to people about what Josh did, or his cover up, or him lying on the stand, or any of that. Nope, it's Paul Caldwell's fault. It's always Paul's fault, right? Allegedly. Poor Paul. Oh, but Paul's kind of a mess all of himself, in my opinion. You'll never win. All right, so what are your thoughts about Jim Bob coming out of hiding? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.